Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know how much we love digging into the science behind natural remedies?
And today we're tackling a really fascinating one,
Absolutely. We've got a ton of listener questions about papaya leaf extract.
specifically about its potential to boost blood platelet counts.
You've been poring over the research, and I know I've learned a lot already.
It's definitely been a deep dive, haha.
No kidding. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is papaya leaf extract? I mean, I know it comes from the papaya plant, but
Right. So it's basically what it sounds like. It's an extract derived from the leaves of the papaya plant.
okay, simple enough.
Yeah. And for centuries, it's been used in traditional medicine all over the world.
Interesting, like a general health tonic kind of thing.
Exactly. But what's really caught the attention of the scientific community lately is its potential to support something called hemostasis.
Okay, hemostasis. Now we're getting into the sciencey terms. Could you break that down for us?
Sure. Hemostasis is your body's natural braking system when it comes to bleeding. It's the process that stops bleeding.
Ah, so like when you get a cut, hemostasis kicks in to stop the bleeding.
Precisely. And one of the key players in this whole process is platelets.
Platelets, those tiny little cells in our blood. I remember those from biology class.
Right. But they're not just tiny cells floating around, they're like little superheroes.
Superheroes? How so?
Think of them as first responders rushing to the scene of an injury.
Okay, I like that analogy.
So when you get a cut, platelets flock to the area and form a plug to stop the bleeding.
Wow, so they're like the body's own little patching crew.
Exactly. But when there aren't enough platelets on the scene, things can get a little dicey.
And that's where thrombocytopenia comes in.
You got it. Thrombocytopenia is the medical term for having a low blood platelet count. And the threshold we typically use is if the count dips below 150,000 platelets per microliter of blood.
So 150,000 is like the danger zone.
Not necessarily a danger zone right away, but definitely a cause for concern because if you have fewer platelets, it means your body's ability to form those clots and stop bleeding is compromised. So you're more susceptible to things like easy bruising, prolonged bleeding, even from minor cuts.
Okay, so that's definitely something you don't want to mess around with.
Right. And that's why the potential of papaya leaf extract to increase platelet counts is so exciting.
And that's what you've been diving deep into, right?
Yeah.
The research on this.
Yeah. And there's some really interesting stuff out there, especially when it comes to dengue fever. Are you familiar with dengue?
Yeah, it was a mosquito-borne illness.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty stuff, right?
It is. And
Huh.
one of the major complications with dengue is that it can cause a dramatic drop in platelet counts.
Ah, so that's where the papaya leaf extract comes in.
Exactly. There was a meta-analysis of 6 randomized controlled trials, all involving dengue patients, and it found that papaya leaf extract significantly increased platelet counts, often within just a few days.
Wait, so they saw results that quickly?
Yep. A significant increase by day 3.
That's incredible. But how does it actually work? Does papaya leaf extract contain some magic ingredient that tells the body to make more platelets?
Well, not exactly magic, but there are some key compounds in papaya leaf extract that seem to be responsible. Flavonoids and alkaloids, for example. Researchers believe these compounds may stimulate the bone marrow.
That's where platelets are made, right?
Bingo. And there's even a possibility that some of these compounds might act directly on the platelets themselves, making them more efficient.
Okay, so it's not just a random effect. There's a real biological process going on here.
Precisely. And it's not just dengue fever. We're also seeing promising results in cancer patients who are dealing with chemotherapy-induced thrombocytopenia.
Oh, yeah. I remember coming across a case study where a patient was experiencing really severe thrombocytopenia as a side effect of chemo, and the papaya leaf extract seemed to reverse that.
Right. And there's a growing body of research looking into this connection. It's pretty exciting to see how this natural remedy could potentially play a role in support of cancer care.
Definitely. It sounds almost too good to be true. Are there any downsides or risks we should know about?
Well, as with anything, even natural remedies can have potent effects. It's crucial to remember that papaya leaf extract shouldn't be treated as a cure-all.
Right, it's not a magic bullet.
Exactly. And there are potential risks and interactions to be aware of, especially when it comes to medications. For example, papaya leaf extract could interact with blood thinners.
That makes sense, given its effect on platelets and clotting.
Right. So let's say someone is taking an anticoagulant like warfarin. These drugs help to prevent blood clots, which can be extremely dangerous. But if you combine that with papaya leaf extract, which we've seen can enhance clotting, it can throw things out of balance.
I see. So it could actually increase the risk of bleeding.
Exactly. And that's just one example. There's also the potential for interactions with anti-diabetic medications. papaya leaf extract might lower blood sugar levels too much if someone is already on these meds.
Okay, so definitely something to be cautious about for people with diabetes.
Absolutely. And there's also a potential interaction with a heart medication called amiodarone.
Amiodarone, I've heard of that one. Pretty serious stuff, right?
It is. And combining it with papaya leaf extract could lead to a buildup of amiodarone in the body, which can lead to some serious complications.
So it's not as simple as just popping a papaya leaf extract supplement and calling it a day.
Definitely not. Consulting with a healthcare professional before starting a new supplement is crucial, especially when you're already on medication.
Makes sense. They would probably want to do some blood monitoring as well, right? Make sure everything is okay.
Oh, absolutely. Regular blood tests are essential to monitor platelet counts and overall health while using papaya leaf extract. And depending on what other medications someone is taking, their doctor might need to adjust dosages to avoid those interactions we talked about.
So it's all about personalized care and working closely with a medical professional.
Exactly.
So the takeaway here is papaya leaf extract definitely shows promise, especially for conditions like dengue fever and chemo-induced thrombocytopenia.
The research is very compelling, and it's always exciting to see natural remedies like this being explored for complex health issues.
But just because it's natural doesn't mean it's risk-free.
That's so important to remember. Seeking professional medical advice is non-negotiable. No DIYing this one.
Couldn't agree more. And with that in mind, here's a final thought for our listeners. We've learned about the potential benefits of papaya leaf extract, the science behind how it works, and also the very real risks involved.
It's a lot to consider.
It is. So how does this new information change your view of natural remedies? Where do they fit in with modern medicine? It's a great question to ponder. And thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.